phrase. Spread the everlasting gospel. Be the sermon. 1, 2, 3. Be the sermon.
Global Youth Day.
We want to thank you to our amazing hosts from Inter-American Division and for the great stories that they shared with us. And we discovered one more time that Global Youth Day, it's about be the sermon and be present there with all your soul and doing all the things that you can do.
Definitely, Christian. I mean, we've been able to have a look into some active projects that have really transformed and helped us see the way that we view ministry and evangelism. You were telling me a little bit about the homeless story, about how they brought the clothes, and there was something quite profound that came out of that. Could you share?
Yes, when I saw with how much care they were speaking with all those people and was very concerned about them, I say that this is the main thing that God did for every one of us. He's concerned of every one of us, and maybe Global Youth Day is about telling the people that God is caring of them in a special way. Definitely.
I loved how they came and brought the clothes to the homeless people and valued them. The reality is, in many demographics that we look at, or people who are unfortunate, we can devalue them in our minds. God doesn't see them that way. God values everyone equally. But the reality is once we push ourselves into active, practical ministry, we move from our view to God's view. This is the power of being the sermon. It's the power of being active and gaining His wisdom and His vision.
And also, being the sermon means to be present in people's life where they are, with what they are needed. And I remember of those young people from Curacao who are cleaning the cars and who are giving water to stop the bus for giving water to the people who are there.
Creative, so creative. I think that's what Jesus calls us to be. Creative to reach people in this day and age. It's about listening. It's about trying to find a way and a means to get into people's lives. I love it. It's beautiful that we as a world church from this level can really impact people in positive ways. Well,
so for our viewers who are going now, who are continue to be with us for the next hour, we invite them to not forget to put their stories on the app. And also we want to say welcome to our last host.
Yes, we do. It's been a marathon, 24 hours.
Indeed.
For those who are just joining us, welcome. Be prepared for a wonderful sum up. We want to welcome now the General Conference Hope Channel studio in Silver Springs, and we want to ask them to take over now as they wrap up. So we want to hand over everything all the way over to Erica and Sergio in the studio in the Hope Channel. Remember to be the sermon.
Welcome to the Global Youth Day finale. It's been a crazy 24 hours. We're really excited that you've joined us. And we're really pleased to have you for this final hour of Global Youth Day. It's now here in its third year, and Global Youth Day is an event that gets Christians out of their churches for one day and into their neighborhoods to spread the gospel with outreach activities to literally be the hands and feet of Jesus.
Sergio, I can't think of a better way to do this. The youth of our church didn't get enough credit for their compassion and vision to lead others to Christ. Often in this world, we focus on our differences, whether they're age, race, or ethnicity. But today, the youth push through all of that They put all that aside to come together in one heart, in one mind.
I think that's what's really cool about today is we're going to see packages that recap things that people did all over the world. We're going to see all kinds of different ethnicities and cultures and peoples, but it's all one mission. It's all people just being the servant, trying to live the gospel out in their communities.
And motivated by the same love, the same mission, the same peace, the same everything. That's such a beautiful thing.
It's a really cool thing to be a part of when you really think about it. It's just like 24 hours where the gospel has been actively spread with people throughout the world. It's a very cool thing. We have a lot of things to run down, but our first one today is a package that we have from the Southern Asia Pacific Division. They did all kinds of cool things. They had a blood drive, they had free bus fares, they had hospital visits, music in parks, free haircuts, and this is, I think, the coolest thing. I don't know anyone else that did this today. They did an interesting trade. They handed out fruit in exchange for cigarettes. So check it out. All right, Erica, there was a lot of cool stuff in that video that we've got to break down really quickly. Okay, I'll start with my favorite thing.
Okay.
The exchanging the bananas for cigarettes was really cool. Like,
I have never seen that in my life.
Yeah,
that is like so cool.
They didn't just like smack a cigarette out of someone. They just hey, try this instead.
And they seemed, the recipients seemed like they were perfectly fine with that,
Yeah,
which I thought
yeah.
was also really interesting.
Yeah, really open to it.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the thing that I really love about Global Youth Day is that the young people come up with really creative ways for serving, for giving back. I really loved the elderly woman that they were bathing. I thought that was so beautiful. In that part of the world, you know, many of the elderly, they're kind of shut in and they're not able to really do a lot of things for themselves, and many times they're kind of outcasts. And I love that the youth really just put everything aside to go and give this old woman a bath who they didn't know. Wasn't their grandmother, wasn't their aunt, but, you know, was somebody in their community. So I thought that was really beautiful.
That was really moving.
Yeah, so now we're going to head over to the South Pacific, where we're going to see what the youth in that region did. I thought it was really interesting how some of them helped to teach people in their community about living a healthy lifestyle. They prayed in the government house in Sydney, and in Fiji they did some really cool things. So check this out. the South Pacific Division. They did some amazing work in their community. What was your favorite thing that you saw in that package?
What I saw, and I think it's something we're going to continue to see, is I love when you make a specific point to do something like this, is you see groups intersect that normally never would intersect. You know, just in that video we see young mixing with old, groups that seem to be of different socioeconomic classes merging together. It shows the power of when you decide that you're going to step outside of your normal life trajectory, you encounter people that you wouldn't otherwise.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you, Sergio. Yeah,
cool.
That was great.
There's plenty more still to come.
There's so much more. I'm like, I can't wait to see it all.
Yeah, so there's more still to come. We got to take a short break, but as we do, we're going to show some really cool photos that people have taken all around the world as part of Global Youth Day from Instagram and social media. So check it out. Thanks for staying with us as we recap this awesome 24-hour day that is known as Global Youth Day. And actually, we're going to move on to something really that's incredibly serious. Last week, the world saw a disaster approach the island nation of Vanuatu. Cyclone Pam, one of the fiercest natural disasters to ever hit the nation, barreled down on the Chain Islands, decimating homes, crops, and even causing fatalities.
In response, local Adventists have put aside their previously planned projects in order to handle the devastation in Vanuatu. Even then, we know that the youth are being the sermon to their community. With a message straight from Vanuatu, here is Pastor Charlie Chimi.
Hi, my name is Pastor Charlie Chimi. I'm the youth director here in Vanuatu HD Mission.
Hi, I'm Pastor Nosteri, the president of Vanuatu Mission.
Recently, we've been hit by Cyclone Pam.
Vanuatu as a country has been devastated by the cyclone called Cyclone Pam.
We've never experienced a cyclone in past years, and this is one of the worst ever cyclone that has hit our country here in Vanuatu.
This is a Category 5 cyclone. It is the strongest cyclone ever faced by the country. And yesterday, the Prime Minister of Vanuatu has declared a state of emergency in the whole country. That's 83 islands, starting from the northern part of the country right down to the south. Impact has been felt throughout the country. Houses and homes, churches and schools have been devastated by the cyclone. The communication network is down. No internet, several in the country at present. A lot of people are suffering. Many people are flocking in evacuation centers.
But because of the cyclones, our youths have planned something for this coming Global Youth Day to join together and assist and to provide relief to the communities, to the people that have been affected by this cyclone that has hit us. Most of our young people are affected by the cyclone, but amidst the crisis that we are in, our youth here are resilient in coming together this coming Sabbath in helping out in various ways that our youth here in Vanuatu.
The ATRA arm of the church, the humanitarian arm of the church, is working very closely with the National Disaster Office of this country, and they're coordinating the relief supply to many thousands of people in these evacuation centers. The scene here in some parts of Port Vila and the homes that I'm standing in here, many homes are like this, are devastated. Plenty people are now currently put their lives back in order.
For the global youth there, I would like to appeal to the global youth around the world, please do remember us in your prayers. Please do remember us in your prayers, and we do need the support to help our people here in Vanuatu, and especially our church families that are affected by the cyclone that has just impacted our nation.
We are appealing for youth around the world to remember Vanuatu at this time in your prayers. And at the same time, I'm soliciting on behalf of the church here in Vanuatu to actually ask and solicit for support in whatever way we can to rally up some kind of support to help us to put the lives of people, and especially places of worship that has been very much devastated by this cyclone, not only here in Port Vila, where the capital city is, but also throughout the islands, where we have thousands of our church members who are very much affected by the great impact of this cyclone that has hit Vanuatu. We will have no fruits, no vegetables on our table, maybe perhaps for the next 6 months. And so we tremendously would need a lot of support that would come from our friends from abroad to help us with this great impact of the cyclone that had hit this country. And above all, we would like to solicit for your prayers. We're asking your support that God will help the people as they put things back in order to support their livelihood.
I'm appealing to the Adventist youth around the world, please do support us. We need your prayers.
So once again, on behalf of the Seventh-day Adventist Church here in Vanuatu, I wanted to say thank you. If you remember us in prayer and if you're thinking of supporting us, we do appreciate the help that you would give in this time of great disaster. Thank you so much for the help that you will give to help us. Thank you.
So Erica, when I think about those youth there in Vanuatu getting amped and excited for Global Youth Day, getting prepped, and then this horrible thing that you couldn't possibly have foreseen happens and completely obliterates so many things, including your plans.
Yes.
Yet the word that stuck out to me from that video was resilient. You know, that they're still going to go out there. The need is obviously enormous now, and they're going to go out there and they're going to meet the incredible needs that they're facing in their country.
And I really think that speaks to the spirit that is sort of being brewed in our church globally in general. This idea that, you know, being the sermon is about being humanitarian. It's about not just giving back one day, but giving back all the time, and giving back during times when it matters most. And in Vanuatu, the youth there have realized this is a time that really matters most. So yes, we had our great plans, you know, to serve the community in other ways, but right now our whole country needs us. And I imagine some of these youth that are there, I'm sure some of their homes have been destroyed, or their school, or their church, or what have you. And so, you know, Vanuatu is going to take many years before this island nation, you know, recovers. A lot of their crops were destroyed. There's so much devastation, but there's also hope, and I really got that from Pastor Chimi's message as well.
Yeah, I really got that, and really thinking that, you know, as we look at Global Youth Day and everything that it means and everything that it represents, I think it's important for all of us to remember Vanuatu.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
In all the ways that we can support them, as they said, any ways we can support them through prayers or any other means. I think it's something for all of us to remember.
It is, and it's so beautiful that our church is a global church, because, you know, a little tiny place like Vanuatu,
literally isolated islands
in the South Pacific, you know, in the Southern Pacific Ocean, we are learning about it. We know about it because of our global church. You know, we're connected to a pastor there. We're connected to youth groups there now through social media and whatnot. And so it's so beautiful that our church encourages us to be global minded. And as we think about being global minded, we're going to take a trip over to the Trans-European Division, where the youth there went to local shops. They offered hot chocolate, fresh fruit. They did a flower power hour. Very exciting.
Say that 3 times.
So check out this package from the Trans-European Division.
7:30 in the morning. We're in Bracknell Charles Square, and we're outside McDonald's in Bracknell. And for Global Youth Day 2015, the New Bold Project, we have a wonderful donation from these awesome people here from McDonald's. And we have Dean, the manager for the Bracknell store.
I've just donated a box of fruit bags and probably about 200 balloons for you guys to give away during the day.
Hi there, morning. Yeah, we're giving away 100 food bags today as well, so hopefully today's event goes very well for you.
just want to say that we are just so grateful for the community that have done so much for us, and they're going to do so much for us this morning and this afternoon throughout the day. So McDonald's, thank you very much, and I know we're going to have a great day. Thank you for partnering with us.
Hi, I'm delighted that Newbold College of Higher Education staff and students have been involved in Global Youth Day last year as well as this year. But don't forget that our staff and students are involved regularly in impacting on the local community through what we call Impact Day. And here are just a few examples of the ways in which we help.
We're here painting a fence at Ravenswood, and I think it's good to go out to the community and do some practical work that can benefit the people that live in the surrounding area of Newbold.
I think volunteer work is a win-win situation. You make other people happy by helping them, and also you're enjoying your time. At least I am, since I enjoy painting.
As you can see right now, it's just after 10 o'clock in the morning. Newbold campus is extremely quiet. There's nobody in Sabbath school in the youth class because our youth are already out engaged in the community doing Global Youth Day acts of kindness.
Global Youth Day 2015, we're ready to clean some Bracknell!
So they had fun in the Trans-European division. I love that they got McDonald's involved. That was really
isn't
cool.
that interesting to use a fast food company to partner in this way? I mean, it's just, we're seeing the creativity. You alluded to it before, the creativity that we see in youth around the world. So many interesting ideas. I wouldn't have thought of any of
me neither.
this.
Not at all. Not at all.
So it's very cool to see.
Very, very cool. I've been totally inspired and challenged.
Yeah, so we've got to zip over now to the States, and we are going to speak with Abigail from Philadelphia. Abigail, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Cool. So why don't you start us off by letting us know what you worked on today? What did you do?
Well, we had many activities planned for today, which we believe that God was the head captain on this. This was our first year doing Global Youth Day, and we are so overwhelmed and so thankful with the response we received. This morning at 10, we had a parade where we had the police escort us through the streets of our community. We handed out 40 baskets of food, non-perishable items. We went to the Cancer Treatment Center and preached about messages of hope and love. We had a prayer wall where everyone who walked through our community, they put their name up there, and we made sure that they knew that we were going to pray for them. We gave out 200 free pretzels. We got donated money from Target, the Dollar Tree, Glendale Pharmacy. We had a prayer drive-through, children's activities. It was just definitely a day filled with a lot of activities, and I'm so thankful that everything worked out beautifully.
Wow, that sounds incredible. Abigail, could you give us maybe one memory that stands out to you the most from today?
Definitely. Yesterday, we had a snowstorm. It snowed about 3 to 4 inches over here in Philadelphia. And I was just like, wow, it's going to snow on tomorrow's Global Youth Day. But what really stood out to me was that my youth and my church members, they didn't say, no, we're not going to do this parade. No, we're not going to do it. They still went out there. We walked the slushy streets of our community, and we stayed out there the whole day preaching the Word of God and just really being the servants.
Wow, well that's so cool. I love that visual of you guys slushing through the snow, braving the elements. You said this is your first year doing it, correct? Is there going to be a second?
Oh, absolutely. There's definitely going to be a second year. Everybody was so pumped, and they did not want to stop. When we were saying, okay, come on, let's go back in church, we're going to finish up the program, they did not want to stop. They wanted to keep preaching the Word. They wanted to keep handing out literature. It was just such an amazing experience, and I'm so thankful to God that we got to do this year.
Well, Abigail, we're so thankful to you for sharing your time with us. Thank you so much for sharing the little slice of Global Youth Day that you had in your corner of the world.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. And thanks to you watching at home. We're going to have to take a quick break, but we'll have some more pics from social media. You're watching Global Youth Day finale. We're recapping 24 hours of being the sermon in your community. And our next stop in our journey around the world is in Southern Africa. And here we're going to see a lot of cool things. We're going to see a blood drive. We're going to see hospital visits. But one highlight, at least for me, is that we're going to see very young youth. We have Pathfinders doing some cool stuff too. So check it out.
8 million youth, 24 hours, one church, one purpose. More than 100 Adventist youth from around Bloemfontein, under the leadership of Pastor Maligudu, set out to touch the lives of people in their community.
Good morning and welcome to Bloemfontein on March the 15th on Global Youth Day. Today we're going to be going around the city being the sermon. Now, as you can see behind me, we have a bunch of wow, what can I say? You can see for yourself, these youth are not only vibrant and not only full of life, but also they're trying to take the message of Christ to the community. So now today, we're going to give you the privilege and opportunity to be part of us as we become the sermon. So I hope you enjoy the day, and I hope that you too may feel as if you are being a sermon.
Good thing about today is that the youth themselves are becoming the sermon today. So they're feeling valuable, they're feeling good, you know, they're giving back. It's a very nice feeling for everybody, so we're having a really good time.
Well, Andrew works globally globally and locally in South Africa. Today it's wonderful to see that the local churches are also taking initiative to support the community and uplift our local community, and our young people are really excited, as you can see in the background.
And it's a way of reaching other people that see the world differently than us. We can show them Jesus' love and show them the world as we see it, with hope in it.
We hope that this partnership with the youth department in our church continues to grow. This year we've donated 200 food parcels to this initiative, and we hope that will bring smiles to those who are underprivileged.
This is Peter Maligudu, Youth Director in the SAU. This is our first pit stop. It's Pilinomi Hospital. We are cooking. We are excited about the Global Youth Day. The young people have got packages, toiletry packages to hand out to their patients. They will be singing for them. They will be praying with them. From here, we'll be visiting an old age home and an orphanage, and after that we're going to be distributing thousands of pieces of literature, and this is an exciting day indeed. We thank God that the General Conference has come up with a program like this one to let the youth be excited about serving Jesus, practically putting their Christianity into use, and we are happy about that.
I am the sermon. Not only changing the lives of communities around the world, Global Youth Day has made a difference in the way Adventist youth will see the world.
You know, Erica, something that stands out to me in that video, and we've seen it in all the other videos, is just the sheer number of young people involved in these events. It's incredible. When I go to church, I don't see this many young people in there.
Same here.
You know, it's
Same
just
here.
not something you see. But I think that's one of the powerful things that we are witnessing in Global Youth Day, is that young people don't want to just listen to sermons. They want to be the sermon. They don't want to just hear about the gospel. They want to live the gospel, and that's nothing but a good thing.
Yeah, and I think another thing that Global Youth Day is doing is bringing out those numbers. You know, I'm sure as a youth growing up in church, you used to go out and volunteer and go to the hospitals and hand out food to the homeless and whatnot, but it was never quite the size. Like, imagine, like for yourself.
I've never been in something that big. No,
exactly, and so that was one thing that really stood out to me too. It's like there's so many youth there. I was like overwhelmed by you know how many people were there, and you know this is something that's happening all throughout the world. We're actually going to go over to South America right now to see what the youth in that part of the world have done, and they've done some really beautiful things, handing out free hugs. We've actually seen that for the past 2 years for Global Youth Day, so it's really cool to see that again this year. Visiting orphanages, visiting the prisons. The people in the prisons always needs visits, so the people in South America did this and many other things. Let's take a look. Sergio, for the past 24 hours, 8 million youth all around the world have been getting together to serve their community, to show acts of kindness. What do you think about this?
I can't believe it was all today. That's the thing. It's like watching these videos, like all of this happened today.
Right.
This isn't like a collection of the last like few months or years. This all happened today. It's such a huge movement that has really been sweeping across the world. It's just such a cool thing to witness and be a part of.
It is, and I really feel like it's getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, praise God for
and
that.
the youth are just becoming more fired up, and it's like catching on in various divisions and unions and whatnot, and I just love it. It's so inspiring.
I love it. I'm fired up. I hope you're fired up at home. We need to take a short break. When we come back, we'll continue around the world. watching the Global Youth Day finale today, and now we're moving on to Southern Asia. And there in Southern Asia, they did a lot of cool things, like we did all over the world. But one thing particularly of note is they visited a leprosy mission hospital where they prayed and played with the kids. Check it out.
We are back, and we are going to move to another part of the world that has seen a lot of challenges, a lot of sadness, a lot of violence, but also there's a lot of hope and a lot of inspiration. We're going to the Middle Eastern, North African division, where we see what the youth have done there. Check it out.
Sometimes you are not able to preach a sermon because you don't speak the language, the political situation, or religious issues are very strong, or simply because nobody cares about any God or Bible. How you do to share the gospel with others? What do you do to meet their needs or to introduce them the way, the truth, and the life? In this part of the world, many times you cannot do, so you need to be.
And as a student, to be the sermon to them, especially in this institution, most of the day students are locals and they don't know about the Bible. To share with them the Word of God, but not really opening the Bible telling them, but by our action. Create interest in them. This is what Jesus wants us to do. To show His love, to show Him to others, others see Him through us.
Being a teacher for 75 students, and I didn't study actually education, my major is finance and banking, was really hard. And after dealing with the kids and see what's the difference between the normal kids that I see in the church, I see at my country, and I see these children, I feel how painful they are and the pain they are feeling from the war. It made me change about the way I am teaching them, that I have to tell them and let them know that God is the love and God is the peace. Also, we go and visit the families just to know what is the background of their kids and to have like this intimate relationship with the parents. And when I come here, I don't feel like they are Syrian refugees and I am Egyptian and maybe they are Muslims and I'm Christian. With these kids are not any more students for me. They are my own kids. This is what I actually feel.
Ever since I was very small, I've had a very strong interest in Middle East and Middle Eastern culture. For me, what I've gotten out of this, how I'm changing, is I now have a very definite desire to serve with my life. Some things are still just basic human needs. Food, water, housing. That's stuff that transcends cultures. Every human needs that. Before I came, I was like, let's go learn Arabic. It'll be good for getting some sort of job that pays a lot of money. There's so much need over here. I see that and I say, man, somebody's got to do something. Why not me?
This project is to spread God's word. We go around to 4 families. We are here from MEU, around 5 students. The last several months, some of the families lost a family member. When we went there, she was sad about it. But she said, God, He will never leave us alone. And we didn't see this before when we started.
News on TV or on YouTube,
seeing that people coming from Syria and Iraq, they really need our help. Me and my friend Faisal, we talked to the dean of the students here and we said that we want to help to do something for the refugees here in Lebanon. There is an organization called Heart for Lebanon. With them, we contacted them and they told us who really need this help. I was happy at the beginning that I'm going to go there and to see things live, like to see the real things, because I always heard from the news. But when I went there, I was really shocked. Like, you look at them, they live in places that no one can ever live there. But I believe that we should do something more. Like, we should do more things to help them and to improve their life conditions.
To be the sermon is to serve someone other than yourself.
I become the ceremony when I feel responsible for others. I feel that I have to make them happy and make them better in the future.
To be the ceremony is to be an open Bible here in Middle East.
From the Bible, actually, I have this verse that just came to my mind, which is, "Here I am, send me." So this is being the sermon for me.
To be the sermon is to be like Jesus.
Sergio, you know what someone mentioned earlier to me that kind of really stood out in my mind is that Global Youth Day is changing the way that Adventist youth are seeing the world. And this video from Mina really stood out to me. Like, it really connected those two things for me.
Yeah.
'Cause it really felt like the youth there are really, you know, treating these strangers as though their own family.
Yeah, there's such a closeness there. And
Yeah.
really when you think, as you alluded to, that this is a region of the world where the door is pretty much shut
Right.
to the possibility of just openly preaching the gospel to people.
Right.
Yet the window of opportunity to meet people's needs is so enormous. And it's just
Exactly.
so moving to see young people just rushing to meet
Yep.
that need there.
Yeah, and making such a huge personal sacrifice.
Yeah, no,
You know, I
it's-
imagine
it's-
it takes a lot from them.
It's really incredible. And now we need to run to a different part of the world. We're going to have a phone call now with Livna Stevens. She is the communications director for the Inter-America Division. Livna, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. So on our previous phone call with Abigail, we got a kind of small look at a small corner of the world. We wonder if with you we can get a broader picture of what's going on in your part of the world, in Inter-America.
Okay, well, it was very, very active today. We saw reports of all kinds of activities, health brigades, just people going out to the streets. There were some ministries, too, that they went out and they were exchanging water for cigarettes at different parks. There was one that was really impressive to me because, you know, I've been involved in homeless ministries before at my church, and we usually give out food or blankets and we mingle a little bit. But I was covering an event with it was about 24 young people who they went to the main bus terminal in Monterey, the big city. It has about 5 million people in there. And they just picked this spot where they had seen a lot of homeless people just sleeping on the parking lot there, just without any socks, just living out there. This one lady had been living there for 3 months. Most of them are men who are out there, but this lady was there for 3 months. And these young people, they just sat on the ground, on the dirty ground with them. They talked with them. They prayed with them. And they brought some clothes for them. They helped them bathe and get their hair washed and clean them up and clean their feet. Some of them didn't have any socks. And the young people were just taking their socks off and just putting them on there because it was starting to get chilly outside. And it was just so wonderful. And then they ordered pizza. And instead of just giving them the pizza, they just all sat in a circle. And there were at least about maybe 10 of them. They just sat and they ate with them and they talked and they joked. And it was just such a blessing to see that because they were such an inspiration. They're just the sermon. They were just a perfect example of Global Youth Day.
Well, you know, Livna, what I'm hearing is your perspective on maybe even the positive surprise at what the youth were able to do. I wonder if you can talk about the importance of youth being able to kind of choose their own way and means of engaging in their communities.
Well, I actually was talking to a girl who this was the first time that she had been involved. She's a med student at the university there in Nuevo León, which is the state where Monterrey, the city of Monterrey is. And she was so inspired, and she had heard about it, and she had brought all the papers, the hashtags, and they took some selfies and everything. And she's a youth leader at her church, which is about an hour away. She travels an hour away to school, and she's leading this church, and she's engaging her young people, and she says, we need to just make this a habit. She was determined to continue to inspire the young people to seek out projects. She says that in her church, there was a lady who had heard about this old person that was living in some house that was closed. And they told the church, and the young people came, and they just went in there. She hadn't bathed or seen anybody for like 3 months. She had a few dogs that were kind of taking care of her. And they went there, and they took the blankets, and now they've just established like a mini ministry to reach her every week, and also to look out for the other ones who are in need. And so that's kind of been one of the initiatives that they've started. And this girl, the student, told me that she's wanting the kids to really just take a look around them, put their iPads down and their phones, down, and just look and see
go out and get involved.
Who has less than they have,
Well, that's so great, Livna. Thank you so much for sharing what's going on in your part of the world. All right, well, we've got to take a quick break, but as always, we'll have some more pics shared by people around the world on Instagram.
Welcome back to Global Youth Day 2015. We are getting close to the end, and we have a couple more things we want to share with you. We have traveled all around the world today, and all around the world today, thousands of youth have gathered together to do amazing things for their community. Here in the North American division, it was no different. We have so many things to share with you in this package from North America. Come take a look.
We're here to march, to bring attention to a human need. We are not here for political reasons. We are not here for a political party. We are here for humanity's sake. But something bigger than all of us is happening, and we are confronting it. We're gonna make a difference. Do you have an attitude problem? Is that what your mama said? You have to have an attitude to survive out here. Just put on the attitude of Christ. Dr. King once said, we're going to march in an orderly fashion. We will obey all traffic regulations. We will march with dignity, and people will see our humanity this day.
the messages that we have is that people in the United States have this unfounded notion that trafficking is strictly a global, a third world kind of an issue. Americans outnumber international victims 10 to 1.
Merriam-Webster defines freedom as the state of not being enslaved or imprisoned. The Bible has over 50 verses of freedom in it. Galatians 5:1 says it's for freedom that Christ has set us free. Human trafficking is often called modern-day slavery. It is the most demoralizing, degrading, and devaluing of humanity in the world.
My story begins as a classic mother-daughter argument. My sister wanted her friends to come over, and it's 8 o'clock. It's a school night. My mom was not having that. About a couple hours passed, and I was like, oh, she should be over it by now. And she's not in her room, but I do hear the shower running in the bathroom. She had climbed out the window, and she ran away. My 15-year-old sister had been introduced to an older man. People have this thought of it's international, and it doesn't happen in our city. And with my family, it literally happened through someone who lived across the street.
The Bible says, Matthew 19:14, let the children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these.
We're always saying, let's make a difference. Let's do something. Well, let's do something. We need to put all aside our differences and come together as one, and that's the only way this is going to get done.
So let's come together. As Dr. King once said, the movement has just begun.
That's so powerful, and you know, on that incredible video, we end our program for today.
It's over. I was so moved. I was so touched by seeing, literally, I mean, I keep saying it, but like thousands of young people from all around the world united, same mission, same cause, same burning fire in their hearts to just help people that they don't know. You know, and this is something that, you know, we've always heard growing up, but I think with Global Youth Day, dedicating this day, knowing that the World Church has dedicated this day, this Sabbath to serve. I think that is what is sort of helping to build the momentum of this acts of service in the community.
No, and I think it's so powerful because it really takes me back to the Gospels, you know, and when I think to the Gospel of Luke, Jesus sends out the 12 and tells them to heal people. He sends out 70 later, tells them to heal people, and basically tells them, don't preach a lot, do these humanitarian acts for people, and then tell them the kingdom of God has come near to you. And we've just seen the kingdom of God come near to so many people all around the world. It's just so powerful.
I wish we were able to count how many people were actually touched.
It's a lot.
I wish, because I know it'd be millions. And, you know, I know this is the finale, but this isn't really the finale. I really think that this day should kick off, you know, humanitarian service in our church, in our youth's communities, like throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah, you know, I heard on a previous, you know, we've been doing this for 24 hours. I heard someone say on a previous one, GYD should be the start of GYL, which is Global Youth Life.
Yeah, I do remember someone saying that.
Yeah, so I really love that point that we're wrapping it up this day, but it's start of a Global Youth Life. And as we do wrap up this day, we just want to take a quick chance to show you what's happened in this 24 hours and some of the things that our hosts have been up to.
Welcome to the third installment of Global Youth Day. We say hello here in Fiji, where we are coming to you live for the Global Youth Day coverage.
G'day, and welcome to Global Youth Day. You are here, we are here in Sydney, Australia. We are excited. I'm your co-host for today. My name is Ladine, and over here we have our other co-host, Jay.
Hello.
High five. Ooh.
Let's take a look at a bird's eye view of the events that happened today.
A lot happened.
A lot
so
happened.
much. Where do we even begin?
My favorite was the house.
Right.
That
Definitely.
they built. a huge project to take on and to build someone a house. It's a big thing.
And giving them a roof over their head.
Yes.
For me, it was the night shot. I mean, it made me just say, you know what, son, just appreciate what you have and stop complaining.
Exactly.
Somebody's sleeping in the streets or sleeping in a night shot. They don't have a roof. So start being thankful.
You know what else I enjoyed was the cleaning of the streets with the kids. I always have a soft spot for the kids. It was nice.
You're Uncle Awesome.
I'm Uncle Awesome. You know, it's a wonderful thing to see the kids getting involved and loving it. It's such a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah.
But this also comes as a learning thing for us.
Yes.
Let's not just stay and do the same thing. Let's go out. Let's be the sermon.
Yes.
And let's not just make it a GYD as a Global Youth Day, but a GYL. Global Youth Lifestyle. Exactly.
I was personally touched by young people here in Germany who reached out to refugee children and who spent actually the whole weekend. They are still involved with them and they were doing workshops with them and games, and they were building actually a place where they could meet with them on a regular basis.
That was the longest hour of my life.
It was. It really was.
I'm sure our ancestors loved them, and they are very pretty, but my word.
We have to look at the details because it's really nice, but you have to walk in them for it to be, I guess, comfortable, because it really isn't when you stand in it the first time.
So what did you like most about the videos?
The videos, I think I like the creativity of the groups, because there was no video that was like the same. They did a lot of different things, so that's...
Yeah, it was really cool.
Well, it's time to say goodbye from the master control at Stimme der Hoffnung in Frankfurt, Germany, after a marathon 24-hour live broadcast for Global Youth Day. And this would not be possible without this crew behind me. Daryl, Christina, Sam, Wolfgang, Kiris, Sasha, Corrado, and we've got Tobias at the mixer there, and Marcel, who is kind of taking care of business behind the scenes. Today was a gigantic step towards pursuing our dreams of recapturing the sense of young Adventists being part of a global movement. For the best part of our time, we live in our local churches in 2 or 3s or maybe a group of 15, but for one time in a year, we know that we belong to a movement of destiny. So been very blessed and proud to be part of this. We have survived here 24 hours. The reason we have survived is because of you, because we believe in you, and we just want to thank God for the dream and the vision He's planted on our hearts. We have made many records here. For the first time in the church's history, we have been given access to the whole church through Hope International for 24 hours unbroken transmission with new material. So we want to thank the church for the trust that He has placed in our young people. I want to say to you young people, the church cares for you and the church loves you. But if ever you find yourself to be alone, take responsibility. God is with you. The Holy Spirit is with you. Follow the vision and follow the dream that God has placed on your heart. I would like to thank all those who've been part, our technical directors from all the 24 sites, our crew, our MCs at all the sites. And I'd like to say a special goodbye tonight to someone very special. I am the executive producer, and my assistant, Sylvia Sicalo, is fulfilling her last assignment tonight. when we sign off, she will be signing off from the youth department after 10 years of passionate, sterling, and unbelievable commitment to the cause of young people. So Sylvia, thank you so much for what you have done for us. We will miss you. And now I will leave it to our MCs to sign us off.
So, be the sermon. And we will see you
at GYD on the 19th of March 2016.
Be the sermon!
Yeah.